So, John, I got a call from BOMA, and they were wondering if you and I would mind sharing with other people what it is that we get out of BOMA and what's our why is the question they're asking. And I know both of us have been doing this a long time, and I was just, thought we'd start off by talking about some of the history as to how we both got involved and how our companies got involved. You guys have been doing this a long time, haven't you? Do you know exactly?
Not exactly. I know in Raleigh at least over 20 years, and in Charlotte probably 15 plus.
Wow.
I think my dad and your dad probably rolled with each other back in the day,
Yeah.
early days of BOMA, but we've done it a long time, and our why has been, it's had a huge return on investment for us,
Yeah.
for sure.
Likewise, I don't know exactly when we started, but I believe that we joined in the charter year in Raleigh, which was 20 plus years ago. And for us, we're newbies in Charlotte. We've only been in that market now for a few years, and but to be honest with you, if it weren't for the BOMA Charlotte chapter, I don't think we would have been seeing the opportunities that we've been seeing in the growth. And a lot of that has been because of the networking that we've experienced with BOMA and the quality relationships that we've built. I know that together we've shared some fun experiences between golf tournaments and networking and teaming up on the party that we had down in Atlanta at Southern Region Conference.
Yes.
What are some of the things that when you think about it, what keeps you involved?
I think just like what everybody on the outside looking in is obvious is business development, right? And like you said, the networking that you're allowed to do in BOMA and such a different atmosphere that's not so high pressure, and you can really get to know your clients. I think that's the obvious one. But I think there's a lot of other benefits that you get that when you really put your time into BOMA, that it really gives back.
Well, and that's the key. I mean, that I think when we've talked about this in the past, you get out what you put in. And BOMA's been one of those organizations that, for whatever you're willing to put in, it pays in spades if you commit to it. And the people that we see that come in and they don't stay the course, oftentimes it's because they thought they were going to sign up, and just by virtue of having signed up and become a member, they thought they were going to naturally get business as a result of that. And I think that from our perspective, we've always gone about saying, well, the relationship that you build there is the starting point. And I know you've been involved in a lot of committees. I've been involved in programs, and it's been a big thing just to expose me to more people. What are some of the committees you've done in the past, and how have they helped you?
Special events has been the big one that I've done in Raleigh, and I've chaired that for the past 3 or 4 years now, and that has been a really fun experience for me too. It's just kind of combined some passions of mine, golf and really getting to know people and getting people in front of each other in a fun atmosphere. So that's been something that I've really enjoyed, and that was the first committee that I started in, and got to start under somebody that had been seasoned and kind of learn from them, and I was asked to take over the reins.
You've done a great job with it too.
Thank you.
I've seen the quality of the tournament in Raleigh really improve as a result of that.
Thank you. Likewise with the programs, it's been nothing but superb, and you don't fall asleep and that's for sure in a Kurt Bland program. But yeah, I think that's it's really important. It shows, and just to kind of speak on some of the layers of return when you're involved, is you get opportunities for leadership and to learn, and that directly applies to your real job.
Yeah, it's great to see people flourish too when you see somebody that gets on the track of starting as a committee member, and then you see them develop into a committee co-chair or committee chair, and then sometimes that results in them having board participation. And so those kinds of opportunities, I know from our perspective, it's great to see not just our own employees benefit from it, but also to see managers. I've seen some property managers really rise to the occasion over the years and develop their own leadership skills in that same environment. That's led to them getting more opportunity at work, I believe.
Well, I agree. It might not be something that they would have been ready for at work or had the opportunity for yet at work, and then you get that experience and can real life experience, bring that back to the workplace, and it's a lot easier when you've done it the first time.
Yeah, and another thing, another one of the whys, so to speak, that for me keeps me involved as a sponsor is the quality relationships with vendors. The relationship that you and I have built, like you were saying earlier, I'm pretty sure it's BOMA that brought us together.
It was,
and since then, I know that I can call on you and ask you about a business question and get your opinion on how you've dealt with it. And even in Charlotte, some of the relationships I've formed, I just got a call the other day from Jeff Rizzo, and in fact tonight I'm driving down to Charlotte trying to have dinner with him before a meeting I have tomorrow morning. In being in a new market, a market that we don't have much recognition and much awareness, being able to meet other vendors and learn from them about how they best serve the customers in their particular marketplace, and that's been powerful. That's a big part of it for us.
Yeah, I agree 100%, and kind of piggyback off of that, when I first started with BOMA too, I had a couple of different professional members too that I really bonded with, and they had kind of gave me a peek behind the curtain, so to speak, on how their day-to-day lives are, and just learning a little bit. Again, it's not a fast-paced environment, and we have a little bit of time to talk about exactly how budgets work. What is a capital expenditure? What is operational expenditure? How they differentiate, and it allows me to cater my service to work better for them, and ultimately make the whole transition a little bit smoother too. And
that's such a big part of it, is understanding your customer and building that personal bond, that relationship that BOMA has been an excellent platform for. Because you recall that party that we hosted down at the Southern Region Conference in Atlanta. That was an opportunity for us. We were just getting involved in Charlotte, and you invited guests from Charlotte and from Raleigh, and we invited guests from Charlotte and from Raleigh, and getting people together like that and just seeing them get to know each other better, I see so much value in that.
Yeah.
And like we were talking recently, I think there's a tremendous opportunity for us as vendors to help facilitate more introduction and more professional growth between the various members of the different chapters, because while it's easy to focus on the particular chapter that you represent, of where your home base is, there's so much value just in the networking overall, and that's a big part of why for us too.
Uniting the Carolinas, I think we all have a lot of the same issues, and informational sharing between the two markets would be huge.
I think there's an opportunity there, because you also look, we've got the members in Greensboro who they don't really get the opportunity to participate a lot in either chapter. And I've always had this idea that somehow maybe as vendors that participate in both chapters, we might be able to find some common ground to bring some of these more people together, to increase membership and increase participation, but at the same time it gives everybody the chance to develop as professionals.
I 100% agree. Maybe that's our task for this year, Kurt.
That should be our task. Maybe we need to figure out how we can get both sides of the state to share more ideas with each other, and as vendors that participate in both markets, maybe that's the role we serve.
Yeah, no matter what type of barbecue sauce you like, right?
Yeah, we need to have that. And Jeff Rizzo, if you're listening to this, remember, Eastern North Carolina barbecue, mustard barbecue, and ketchup barbecue. We got to get all of these in a opportunity to have a little competition.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Awesome. Well, I think that's a pretty good sum of what our why is. Going back, the opportunity for professional development, the networking, the friendships that you build, the business relationships, the opportunity to learn from each other in an environment where we're all comfortable sharing. And if anything, I think the most important part is that sales are part of it, but anybody that joins this organization and just thinks that it's a selling organization, or that it's an opportunity just to, I joined, therefore I get the business, and they've got to learn that the real success comes that you get out what you put in. And I know that Scotty's and EDS and Bland, we've all really tried hard to, put in, knowing that in the long term, quality relationships transcend all types of business. And so I enjoy doing it.
I do too, man. And I really appreciate you inviting me to talk today and share my experiences too. And I think that's why we've developed the relationship we have, because we've kind of had shared experiences, and I look forward to the next year in BOMA and many more to come. It's a no-brainer for our organization.
It's interesting to think that I don't think there's many member companies that could say, like we are, we're both second-generation members of BOMA.
Yeah.
We're second-generation business owners who, you go back 20-plus years, and our companies have both benefited simultaneously from this. So
Yeah.
it's a great organization, and I hope things continue that way.
Yeah, I definitely don't have to pitch it to our board every year. It's kind of a no-brainer, gets the rubber stamp every year. So,
Likewise.
Yeah.
Likewise.
all right, Kurt. Well, thank you so much, sir.
Good to see you, John.
Yes, sir.